Sifu Raphael is the founder and host of Coaching Call, Heroes Rising, The Seer Show, and New Tip Daily. He works with individuals, groups, and businesses and helps them find clarity, purpose, and understanding of who they really are in business and personal life. Sifu Raphael has used his skills to develop a variety of multifaceted businesses in the martial arts and fitness industries. He owns and operates a 10,000 square foot martial arts and fitness facility in New York. Jose Escobar is an award-winning, nationally recognized personal development speaker, published author, and sales professional. He leads compelling, high-level communities consisting of entrepreneurs and advanced leaders through his two business models, the Entrepreneur's Bookshelf and the Connected Leaders Academy. He is also the co-host of Heroes Rising.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We are here at Heroes Rising, and we have with us Stephen and Katie. And joining us is our exceptional co-host, Jose Escobar. Jose Escobar, how are you, my friend?
Wonderful. Good to see everybody. Happy Friday. Hope you're doing well. Excited to be here.
Happy Friday.
Yes.
Happy Friday. For real.
It is. And if it was Monday, it'd be Happy Monday, because every day is an exceptional day.
Every day is an exceptional day.
Absolutely.
Everybody just chime in, tell us where everybody's listening from, and then the audience, if you can, also do the same thing. Let us know where you're listening from, because guess what? We're impacting the world with this communication. So tell us, Stephen, where are you coming from?
I am in New Hope, Pennsylvania. If somebody doesn't know where that is, it's about 40 miles north of Philadelphia on the Delaware River.
I love it.
I got out of New Jersey, came to Pennsylvania, and love it.
Great. And if anybody needs New Hope, they need to go to you.
That's it. Yep.
And Katie, where are you coming from?
I'm on Cape Cod in Massachusetts. It's a nice little vacation village in the summer. During the winter, it's pretty quiet.
Nice, nice. And Jose?
Of course, I am from the wonderful, phenomenal, fantastic, one and only state of Maryland.
I think we have the whole Eastern Seaboard covered at this point.
We got it. We got it covered.
We do.
Yep.
We do. And here's where I come from, because everybody wants to take a bite out of us. I come from New York. The Big Apple.
The Big Apple. Yep.
That's it. So we, let's see, we got a couple of people listening. Hello, just popping in quickly. And then Massachusetts is here as well. So work it. And we have James Muller. Thank you for joining us, my friend.
James, good to see you, brother.
Yeah. So what I'd love to do is just start to let you know about some of the incredible people we have here. It absolutely is my pleasure to speak about our next presenter, Katie. I just met Katie, but I feel like I'm getting to know her a little bit more. And after this call, I know we're going to get to know her a lot more. So Katie's motto is stop being a weenie. Man, I love that. She coaches ADHD, heart-centered entrepreneurs who need to step out of fear and start and scale their businesses. She had a great career in the world of sales and marketing before she walked away and created the life she really wanted. Wow. Most people are still stuck there, aren't they? This is why I'm excited to have Katie on the show. Katie trained in coactive coaching and leadership. She blends her expertise in business coaching, sales, and marketing to create custom strategies for her clients. She runs multiple communities, is the host of the Weeniecast, and is a devoted dog mom. Wow, Katie, what can I say? I love your bio.
I think
Thank you so much for being here with us.
The most important part is that last bit.
Yeah, doggy mom. I got you. Love it.
Shall I just take it away?
Yeah, absolutely. Stage is yours.
So I specialize in working with ADHD business owners. I found in building my business, I have ADHD. And what I struggled with was finding support and guidance and coaching that was designed for my brain. Because there's a lot of advice out there that is set up for the neurotypical brain, which is very good at following a very linear plan. If you know anyone with ADHD, we're not so good at that. So whenever I'm talking to someone who thinking about starting a business, I always love to share my story to show that you don't have to have like the perfect journey to get there. Especially folks who think like that they want to be a coach or a consultant, or they want to offer some kind of service-based business that is based on their expertise and their experience. All throughout my 20s, I hopped different jobs. I changed careers. I started off as a sommelier in restaurants in San Francisco. I quit that. I became an actress for about 6 months. You can find me for about 7 seconds in an episode of Looking on HBO. I then got, poached by sales because I tend to really love talking to people. And in sales, I thrive because I love helping people. It's one of the things that I was most passionate about. But again, I kept changing jobs because I have ADHD, and I tended to get bored of the conversation I was having over and over and over again in each of my jobs. And when you're in sales, it's really important to still be passionate about the thing you're selling. So I moved through the fitness industry. I worked in solar industry. I managed a yarn shop at one point. I worked in internet security until I ultimately was in a really serious car accident. I got T-boned by someone who was trying to pass me illegally as I was making a left-hand turn. Ended up with what started as I started thinking it was a concussion, but it turned out to be a mild traumatic brain injury. And so I ultimately had to be on medical leave for about 8 months from my corporate job. And all throughout this journey, I'd had coaches. And usually I hired a coach right when I started getting miserable in my job and I started getting like itchy feet and I really wanted to move on to something else. But I just always had this fear of like, well, I'm not qualified. I'm not qualified. There's a lot of echo. I'm here. Just want to check in with you, Sifu.
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
Is your microphone too far away? I don't know.
No, I mean, it's
now
gone.
You sound good.
It's gone now. Maybe. Yeah. Okay, cool. So anyway, so I always had this fear that, I'm not qualified for the next thing, and I'm not qualified to move up, and I'm not qualified to go and change industries. And each and every time I hired a coach, they really helped me see what I was capable of. It was really scary. Yeah, absolutely. And so there were times where I, started working with a coach and was really unhappy in my job and would quit my job before I had something else lined up. And what was incredible is when I made these really brave moves, I always found something way better. I found something that respected my work-life balance better. I found something that paid better, that had a better culture. But what it took was me making that scary choice and taking action for me to be available to that happening. Now, when I was on leave, I realized, throughout all this whole journey, I was working with these coaches and I was just thinking, oh my God, I want to be a coach. I want to help people like this. I want to be the support to people. But I always wrote myself off because I was in my 20s and I figured, okay, well, no one's going to listen to you. Like, you don't have anything important to say. You're going to have to suffer through like another 3 decades of working in corporate, and then you'll be qualified enough for people to pay attention to you. And when I was in this car accident, I was 29 years old, and really it was my wake-up call. It was like a now or never moment because I came 6 inches from death, pretty much. It could have been a lot worse. And so while I was on leave from my job, I got trained as a coach. I got certified as a coach. And when I went back to my job, I started my business on the side. And here's something that I always like to tell new business owners. When you're starting, it's really important to start with a niche. And it doesn't matter if it's the right or wrong one, because if it's the wrong one, the universe will dance with you. It'll correct you to the niche that's going to be meant for you. So when I started my business, I actually started off as a dating coach for men. I started off, I lived in San Francisco. And if you live in San Francisco, dating as a straight woman is really, really challenging. And so I figured, I'll do my part as a woman, and as a coach, I will fix the men and make it better. And I went out and I marketed and I networked, and I got 9 clients. One of them was a man. Everyone else was a woman. And through my work with them, only one of my female clients actually stuck with the dating topic. So I very quickly went from dating coach for men to dating coach for women. And then very quickly, I realized I was working with a lot of my clients on their executive presence, how they were setting boundaries at work, how they were really owning. Yeah, exactly. It was a lot of fun when I was brainstorming it. Not so much fun when I didn't end up getting male clients. But anyway, so I was helping these women really set strong boundaries, because what was happening for them was they were working extra long hours. They were really trying so hard to prove themselves within their corporate environments. And what that was doing was it was preventing them from having any chance at a personal life. So we really couldn't even work on dating coaching. We had to work on their leadership. So as I was working with these clients, I realized, okay, well, leadership coaching really feels like what I'm doing here. And so I went back, I got some more training in leadership development, and I built a fairly successful leadership coaching company. And alongside that, my coaching friends started asking, wait a minute, how did you do that? Like, because they were following the really bad advice that our coaching school had given them, which is basically just go out and give free sessions to everyone. Which doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Mm-hmm. It's not a good sales strategy. And so I started showing them, and I realized I'd completely taken for granted that I'd had this whole career in sales and marketing, and that the skills and techniques that I had learned throughout that career were things that I was applying here in my business. And it was natural to me. And when something's so natural to you that you kind of assume that everyone knows this, well, when they started asking me these questions and really digging in, like, how do you do a sales call? How do you create content for social media? How do you invite someone to book a call with you? How are you setting all these things up in the back end? I realized that they genuinely had no idea. They'd never had that experience in their career. And so I started showing them. And what was really funny is they started referring clients to me for that, even when I wasn't actually selling that. And I started enrolling these clients to work with me. And I can't tell you what the difference was when I discovered like my soul niche, the niche that was like really meant for me to do. It was like night and day from leadership coaching. Now, I loved my leadership clients. They were phenomenal people, but the stuff we worked on, I just wasn't that passionate about. And when I started working with people who are wanting to start their business, they were incredibly talented, but they had all these fears about, getting rejected, dealing with potential unhappy clients. How could they go out and could they like brag about themselves online? Because what we see are a bunch of people who are constantly saying, oh, thank you. Yeah. I love that I discovered it too. They're constantly seeing these people who are online being very self-centered and bragging and saying, I'm so great. And they're like, well, I don't want to do that. So how can I advertise what I do without, being really arrogant about it? And I honestly felt like I was teaching alchemy. How do you turn words into gold? Or words into money in the bank. And then throughout me building this business, I realized that most of my clients just naturally, I think because they sensed it in me, had ADHD. And so I decided to really niche down about 1.5 years ago into that world because, one of the things about having ADHD is you have to constantly like try to figure out who's going to be the right ally for you, who understands how your brain works, and who won't shame you if your brain doesn't work in the way they tell you to do the work. And I got really tired of hearing people say, I wish I had known that you do this work with ADHD people. And so, my niche has evolved over time. And the main thing here is that I wouldn't have been able to do any of this. I wouldn't be where I am now. I wouldn't have the success that I have now if I hadn't just been brave and taken those first few steps and done things without any guarantee that it would work out. And just threw myself fully into believing that I could put myself out there and it would just work out. And so that's where my whole tagline, "Stop being a weenie and start your business," comes from.
Wow. Love it. Love it. One of the things that you definitely, it's very interesting how your journey went and you found who you are just by speaking with people. And that's what one of the comments were that came through as well. Speaking with people, getting the feel for what they wanted. Because a lot of times we want to give people what we want.
Yeah.
But we're not listening, right? So you did the smartest thing ever by listening. So that was great on your part. And then the shaming part, to have people on your end who are not going to shame you, but they're going to go, I kind of understand where you're coming from. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So good for you. That was great.
Thank you. Oh, and Daring Greatly is one of my all-time favorite books. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
No, sorry, not Yusuf. Sorry.
You see it now right there. Yeah. Absolutely.
That is awesome. I was trying to unmute myself here. Great segment there, Katie. And I think that's very unique. The ADHD business owners. I think that's a powerful niche space to be in. I hear Brendan Burchard raving about how it's an asset, in a lot of ways. I've heard him talk about that many times. Because of the unique way the brain works with ADHD and how you can really hone in on certain things, which is awesome. So anyway, thank you for that. And our next speaker here today is going to really, of course, pour into us as he always does. And I always say, make sure you just have to have a pen and a pad when our speaker that I'm about to introduce is talking, because there's always a wealth of knowledge. It's just a gold mine of information. So lean in, pay attention. Sifu Raphael is a fitness professional, solutions expert, executive coach, and head instructor at Max Martial Arts and Fitness in New York. It's a very large, massive facility where he's been serving all kinds of amazing people for years, pouring into people and really helping them go to new levels in their life, not only in the martial arts space, but as people. He has a heart of gold, founder and host as well of 4 unique podcasts and shows that are all done live. The Coaching Call, which has all different topics of coaching styles from trainers in sports, martial arts, fitness, business, mindset, relationships, leadership, the list goes on. Heroes Rising show, which is here right now in front of you live. There's always 2 coaches on here, and they always over-deliver, as you just saw with Katie, which was amazing. And that's twice a month. And then the Sear Show, where he brings the world together from New York all the way to Queensland, Australia, every Tuesday morning at 4:30 a.m. Eastern Time, super bright and early. And then another show with New Tip Daily, which is Monday through Friday, where he delivers business tips and strategies, business, family, mindset, health. The list goes on. And he has another show with Juanita Cap. And that's another amazing show that he does. The guy is just always finding ways to add value to people, and I'm inspired by him and just excited to learn again. So please, Sifu Raphael, the floor is yours.
Wow, thank you. What do I send the check again? Ivy, thank you so much for joining us, and it is you. Thank you. You always come on and you deliver so much stuff. I got to tell you, I am thrilled. And Jose, you did say one thing, heart. That's what I want to talk to you guys about today. So I think we all need to dive into a topic that might seem unexpected in the world of entrepreneurship. So here it is, right? How to see love as an entrepreneur. Let's explore how the most powerful force, love, plays a transformative role in our professional lives. Katie did that. She's bringing her love and helping people. That's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that, Katie. So when we think of entrepreneurship, the mind automatically goes and it races to business plans, profits, and strategies. However, What if I told you that at the heart of every successful venture is something as simple yet profound as love? That's right, love. Would you believe me if I asked you to have an open heart and, better yet, have an open mind as I unravel the layers of this emotion? And let's take a look and see how it weaves through the fabric of entrepreneurial spirit. Passion. Passion. What are you passionate about? So let's start with passion. Passion is the driving force behind any successful entrepreneur. Think about it. Think of your passion as the first dimension of love in business. When you love what you do, man, it shows. Your work becomes an extension of yourself. It fuels creativity, resilience, and determination to overcome obstacles. Entrepreneurship is rarely a solo journey, even if you're a solopreneur. Listen, everybody on this panel is an entrepreneur, right? Everybody, and you can tell that they care, they love, they went into this venture with love. And that's the key. That's one of the many keys. So your team is your greatest asset. Let's not forget them. So nurturing a culture of respect, empathy, and understanding creates a workplace where everyone thrives. I mean, everyone, and it doesn't matter their role, right? It's the love for your team. That's what transforms a group of individuals into a cohesive, this is it, right? I'm sure Brandon Bouchard would also say, high performing unit. So let's discuss and consider. A lot of people think about my team, but you can't have a team if you don't have customers. They're the lifeblood of your business. You need to see them as more than just a transaction. Oh yeah, this one paid me this. But let's turn that around and start showing some heart, some love. But let's see them as individuals with needs that you can fulfill and desires that right there is a form of love. Don't look at them as a transaction. Look at them as someone who needs your service, like Katie did. She listened, and I love that. She listened. So build genuine connections, and you will be able to provide value, which creates a loyal customer. In the long run, that will sustain your business through thick and thin. The entrepreneurial journey is constant. It is constant. It's a constant evolution. Embracing a love for learning is also a major key, whether it's adapting new technology, staying informed about market trends, or learning from failures. That's right, your failures. It's learn how not to do it again, do it better. Your failures will take you a long way. And it's also the commitment to growth. You need growth to sustain a business, right? It is a testament to your love for your craft and your dedication to success. Love in entrepreneurship is not confined to personal connections. It is not. It creates a ripple effect, touching every aspect of your business, from the way you innovate to how you navigate challenges. That's the one that defines you as well. Remember that. It's also the energy of love which resonates throughout, influencing every decision and all of your actions. As you already know, no entrepreneurial journey is without challenges. We all have them. I've had them. Everyone on this panel has had them. Everyone listening and everyone who will listen to this later on has had challenges. But love, using that heart of yours acts as a powerful motivator during tough times. Yes, it does. It fuels resilience and determination to overcome obstacles. Remember, every setback is an opportunity for a comeback. That's right, a comeback. So it's okay. They're going to be setbacks, but just see them as an opportunity, a springboard, right? I personally believe seeing is everything. So seeing love as an entrepreneur is about recognizing, what are you recognizing? Your interconnectedness of passion, relationships, and growth. You need all those. It's about infusing your work with a genuine affection and affection for what you do and the people. Remember, you can't be in business without people. It's the people you serve. As an entrepreneur, let love be your guiding force. Thank you for allowing me to speak on such an amazing topic as love. I would love to hear your thoughts, your comments, and if you want, I can answer any questions. Thank you guys for allowing me. It's going to be short for me because guess what? I can talk all day on love, but I rather hear what you think about love. Thank you guys. Jose, unmute. There you are.
Can you hear me? Okay, great.
Yes.
My computer's acting a little slow, so it's delayed by like 5 or 6 seconds. But anyway, that was awesome. If anybody has any questions, put it in the comments. We can see it in real time. Chime in, let us know your thoughts. Powerful topic. Thank you for sharing that. Stephen, Katie, anybody have any thoughts on what Sifu Raphael just mentioned before we introduce our next speaker?
I just have to like yes and all of that. Yes and Ivy put a really awesome comment. Rising tide lifts all boats. I think yes, that happens in communities, but it also happens for ourselves. And I think that's such a great reminder.
Absolutely.
And I agree. And I think you're going to hear, based on what I say, that it's going to echo what he just said. So perfect topic. Good lead in. Thank you, Sifu.
You know what? I think everybody in this panel is very heart-centered. So, I think that's the best way that we can think of to serve, right? When you consider serving others, you don't forget, you need to serve yourself, number one. You're number one. But then you have to put everybody else in and help them and be of service, because that's what truly for me, and I know for all of you, is about. It's that service way, if you will. Jose's busy looking at books. He's got a huge library.
And you will.
He's read every book, and I'm sure he's going to reread them again and again and again, right? Let's hear it. What do you got?
Yeah. I had to do this as you were talking, and you were just talking servant leadership, right? This is called The Servant. It's a phenomenal, powerful, amazing read. If you have not read this book,
now I got to get it. Jose, every time you say a book, I got to go get it. So thank you.
Is such a powerful story. I think this is one of the books I read maybe early on in my entrepreneurial world when I was like trying to one day become a business owner, right? A simple story about the true essence of leadership. And it talks about the inverted triangle, right? And how love has to be at the center of what we do. And there's like this, it talks about the seagull manager, right? The seagull manager who comes in and makes a lot of noise and disrupts. And then exactly, there you go. Stephen knows exactly what I'm talking about. I'm sure that's a rendition of it. And then they eat your lunch and poop on you, and then they fly away, right? The seagull manager, right? So this is a really great concept, great story. It's like a story format where he's telling a story to a group, and you're kind of learning the message along the way. But great book. So anyhow, let me not take too much time here, because I'm excited to hear from our next speaker. And let me get right into it. Steve is COO of Beyond Resilience LLC and president of Flow Business Solution. He joined Beyond Resilience because his values and approaches to leading employees resonate with the objectives of Beyond Resilience. Steve has a proven 35-year career with UPS. That's a long time. 35-year career with UPS. He provided leadership in the diverse environments of operations, finance, and accounting, and technology at district, region, and corporate levels. This included 5 years in Europe at the beginning of UPS's global expansion, where he was a finance director with responsibilities in over 10 countries. Wow. So without further ado, folks, this is going to be awesome. Stephen, the floor is yours. Please share with us.
Thank you very much. It's always great to be here. It's always good to be on Seafood shows. And so today, I'm going to give you a little bit of history behind that 35-year career that I had at UPS. When I got started, and this is, you're going to hear things I say is going to fall in line with what's already been said here today. It will just reinforce the fact that these are very solid principles when it comes to leading people. We are going to get to a point that we're going to have a little bit of discussion between the difference between leading and managing people. Before I get to that point, I'll give you some history because my history is really the foundation for the things that we teach. When I got started, I was 20 years old on the management team at UPS. I was still going to college. I was a sophomore in college at the University of Wisconsin at that time. And I had this opportunity to take a part-time supervisor role at UPS, which is where I was. And that sounded exciting. I loved business. I loved UPS. It was a great example of laissez-faireism. UPS was still growing geographically in the United States at that point. So it was obvious that if you did well, there were opportunities. So that's where I went. So I got started, and being 20 years old, the people who reported to me were going to be older than I was because most of them were college students. And you know, when you're 20 years old, it matters. And 22-year-olds don't like to be told by 20-year-olds what to do, basically. So before I got started in this opportunity, I was still living at home at 20 years old. My mom worked for an organization that if I gave you the name, you'd recognize it. But that was quite a while ago. So hopefully they've changed their ways. So I'm not going to throw their name under the bus here today. But when I heard the stories that she came when she came home and told me what was going on, that was my first management lesson was what not to do. So that was number one. Number two, I wanted to be successful at this, and I already had a long-term vision here of where we were going. So I decided, well, how am I going to inspire these 20-somethings to follow me? So I figured, well, I'm just going to simply treat them like I would like to be treated. And if I did that, I'll get off to a good start. And not only was I off to a good start, but I was off to 34 and then 10 more years so far, following the same journey, the same principles. And so I was a part-time supervisor for 5 years. I went into finance and accounting for 17 when I got done with school. And I moved 7 times with UPS. I loved every minute of it. But one thing unique about it, which is really the thing I think I underlying really loved, was at UPS, you won't find it in print anywhere probably, but basically if you do well, you're left alone. So I was left alone for 34 years at UPS. I didn't have instruction by anybody. And again, this is a reflection, not that people ignored me. It was the fact that it was going well. So, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, I suppose. So as a result, I had numerous opportunities between operations, finance and accounting, and the technology group. Because when I went to Europe, as stated before, and I had the opportunity to work in 10 countries as a finance director. So we had finance directors in the large countries, Italy, Spain, France, the UK, and Germany. And then I had all the small countries. I did a lot of traveling, and I worked in a lot of cultures, because there's definite culture difference between Finland, Denmark, Norway, and Sweden, and flowing all the way down through Austria, Belgium, the Netherlands, Greece, and Turkey, and Ireland over there. And I didn't realize it while I was there, but when I got back and I left UPS and got into the coaching world, I realized something very valuable. Cultures change, but hearts don't. People really are the same all over. So as long as we take care of them, train them for success, treat them as individuals, they will follow our leadership. And I've seen it so many times for so many years. So the principles that we teach are exactly what those are. We teach people, we teach business leaders how to lead people instead of managing them. So when you take a look at leading versus managing, I suppose I should continue my journey. So after 35 years, we moved into the entrepreneurial space. My wife has an online leggings store, so she's the face. I do the stuff behind the scenes. And that evolved into the point where we started the coaching business, which was initially to help people become direct sale companies. And then I moved into the coaching business and started doing the general coaching that I'm doing today. And just to reference what Katie said, talking about niching down, I started initially, my whole thing with coaching is I love to go into business environments, learn it all, and then help that business owner reach his or her goals. And that's fun because I like getting into all of it. But I found that I didn't impact enough people this way. So we're niching it down, and we're going back to my core preferences and my core loves about the business. And that is relationships with people. And this is where Sifu's love topic comes in, because if you love your people, they will love you back, and everybody is successful. There's no question about this. I've got stories upon stories upon stories on this. So let's take a few minutes and talk about what is really the difference between leading and managing. Because unless you think about it, you don't think there is a difference, but there really is. So for example, a manager, and I know it's the term that's always used all the time, I'm a manager. Well, one of the things we got going in the introduction mentioned that I was Chief Operating Officer of Beyond Resilience. Beyond Resilience is a new company that we are putting together to go back to corporate America and turn the leadership model on its head. That sounds pretty bold and long-reaching, but that is exactly where we are. And I have to tell you, I didn't come up with the idea. I got the message from the Lord himself. He inspired, he's been a part of my life forever. So this is just one event. But he basically reached out and wanted me to take my skills and go back to corporate America. And I partnered up with another person, and we've started this company. She is the CEO, and I'm the COO of this organization, and we're moving in. And we're in that process of putting that company together. So let's get back to the core of what we're going to do there and what I've done all this time. Manager versus leader. A manager tells employees what to do, and they will, to one degree or another, incur some resistance in that process, because people have a resistance of being told what to do. A leader, on the other hand, inspires employees to follow willingly. That doesn't mean that the job's any different. It just means how we approach the job, how we approach the fact that we want to train people and inspire them so they want to follow what we do. Employees of managers obey their managers, as opposed to employees of leaders who follow their leaders. And there's a big difference. It can be subtle when you think about it, but it really, when it comes to the actual result of it, there's a big difference. Managers, and this is a big one, this one I'm covering here. Managers train employees to do their jobs. Leaders develop employees as individuals as well as employees. So now once a leader turns their attention from teaching somebody how to do a job, and then you've switched your focus into helping the individual develop as a person, you have opened a massive door to the fact that people will follow you because you care about what they say and what they do. So when we teach people how to onboard people, I believe that employee retention begins on day one. And when we keep that in mind, we go through the logical progression of getting somebody off the, when they first get started. So for example, on day one, you basically you should anyway, explain to a new person where they fit in the big picture. What is your role and your responsibility? How does it fit into the big responsibility? And where do you fit in the team? Because employees have 5 basic needs. And the first one is to be a member of a team. So it's very important that leaders bring people into the group as quickly as possible. And then obviously you have to explain the job they have. So when somebody was hired, they know 2 things: the money they're going to earn, and generally speaking, what their job is. Now the leader teaches what their job is. So this leads to employee need number 2, which is to feel successful. So when we train people so they are successful in what we've hired them to do, give them good follow-up, so they're very efficient, that's a personal satisfaction for them. I think back to when I got started. Hey, I'm glad when I felt like I could do a good job. Now we move into the next phase, and this is important. Once somebody has demonstrated that they have the ability to do what you hired them for, now it's very advantageous to come back and ask that person after they've been there for a little while, is there anything else here that you've been exposed to that you'd like to learn, that you'd like to do? That question causes the individual to realize that they have a future because you've opened the door to employees looking at other things. Like when I was at UPS, I started as a loader. I became what was called a puller, but I wanted to be a sorter. And I made that point known, and I went in that direction. So if somebody doesn't give you the opportunity to even answer the question, now they're restricted to what the job is that they were hired for. So employee need number 3 is to feel capable of being able to do more. That transitions the employee from getting started into the long-term view. All right. Now, at this point, a very valuable thing to do is to have a conversation with the employee. You have periodic reviews, and the question, ask this question: what would you like to do in 3 to 5 years? Now, there's a pretty good chance that you're going to get a deer in the headlights look because no one's ever asked them the question. So they may go, I've never thought of that before. That's okay. Simply say, well, I'll tell you what, let's get together 2 weeks from today at this exact same time. And I'm going to ask that question again because I'm really interested in what you would like to do. What have I just done? I have shown personal interest in that individual because I want to know what they want to do. The objective of all of this is to learn the answer to that question and then help them get there while we're also doing the business work. And that will take us to employee need number 4, which is to be compensated properly, but it's not number 1 on the list anymore. It has dropped down to number 4 because of all the other things that we've been doing as well. And then employee need number 5 is to be appreciated. And appreciation goes on forever. So now, with the asking what somebody wants to do down the road and appreciating who they are, you have got a long-term person that are going to stay with you. Right? And that is a great place to be. So, why do we have issues with management versus leading? To understand this, you have to go back to the the Industrial Revolution in the United States. We have been following the same management process ever since then, for the most part. Okay. And I'm going to give you, this is what happened at the very beginning. I don't know that we think of this too often, but the first people that went into the companies when the Industrial Revolution started in the US, which is in 1850, were farmers. They came off the farm and went into the companies. So what happened? Farmers are individual thinkers. They're responsible for themselves from A to Z, right? They have 2 or 3 crop cycles a year, livestock cycles. They get paid 2 or 3 times a year. They make the banker whole if they help them buy seed. And then they got to manage that money for the rest of the year until the whole cycle starts over. Now you move into an industry position and somebody else starts telling you what to do. And there's a compromise there because we as individuals have a desire to have an impact on our future. And unfortunately, not intentionally, I'm sure, business leaders forgot the people part of all these people that are in these factories working. Sifu, if I need to stop talking, just let me know, because I can go on forever.
I know. You and I, we're brothers, man, because I'm the same way. Jose is a great talker too. I'm sure Katie is too. We can all talk about the passion, right? We talked about that earlier. Yeah. But I want to thank you. I mean, I love, and I was taking notes because I love the 5 ideas of how we treat an individual. And it doesn't matter if we hire them to come and sweep the floors, because they may have potential that later on we'll go, wait a minute, that's the person who can head this department because of the way they treat other people. It's the way they do their job. So thank you for that. I really, really appreciate it. What I love to do right now is take everybody on a quick little journey, if you will. Take a look. I got a good friend of mine. He's about to tell you something.
Hi, my name is Jose Escobar, and I'm the founder and CEO of the Connected Leaders Academy. We're a growing tribe, a community of entrepreneurs all over the world, globally, all across the country, high performers, titans of industry. If you're an entrepreneur and you're looking to grow personally and professionally, scale your influence, develop your skill sets, move the needle in your business, more clients, more money, more profit, the bottom line, and of course, grow your circle and your network like never before, this is where you want to be. Join the Connected Leaders Academy today. We are scaling massively. We want to welcome you in. Check me out on Instagram and on Facebook, the @ JAESCO25. We look forward to having you join us. Take care.
I got to tell you, I love that every time I see it. Let me introduce you to my co-host, right? Jose Escobar. As you can see, very well spoken. He is an award-winning, nationally recognized personal development speaker, 8-time published author, has over 25 years as a sales professional. He's a husband. Thank God Katie loves you. And are you ready? Father of 5 children. He leads compelling high-level communities. And one of them is his own community of family. Wow. 5 children, man, I got to tell you. And here's the thing. He knows how to separate work from family. And whenever he's with his family, you can't reach this guy, because that's commitment right there. So the communities are consisting of entrepreneurs and advanced leaders through 2 multi-6-figure businesses, which are the Entrepreneur's Bookshelf and the Connected Leaders Academy, which you just saw and heard about. Jose is an exceptional in his presentations, where he has reached audiences collectively over 30 million, and radiates through his dynamic coaching programs, inspiring his international way over 300 entrepreneur and executive clientele to master their personal and professional excellence. Jose, my friend, how are you doing all this stuff? You're doing great stuff. I'm so happy to be connected with you. And I'm part of CLA, so there you go.
Thank you. Sleepy Raphael, I greatly appreciate it. Can everybody hear me okay? Quick thumbs up. Great. For some reason, the video played twice for me, and I was muted. I was like, "What's going on here?" I don't know. My side is acting up, but anyway, I'm excited. I have about maybe 7 minutes or so. I'm going to share with you very, very briefly a bit about a story recently. So I'm currently mentoring, coaching someone who is in the sales space, right? And I want to share with
I'm
you.
going to stop for 1 second. Just put your
Yep.
hand in front of your camera. It'll refocus you.
There.
And nope.
We're good.
That's okay. Your voice carries everywhere, all over the world. So keep going.
Can you hear me okay? So we're good?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so I'm currently coaching and mentoring someone who's in the sales space. Well, I have a lot of people that I'm coaching and mentoring, but this is more just more like a mentor approach to the piece. And this gentleman is a door-to-door sales guy, and I'm just giving him some insights, some best practices on how to get a better bang for your buck, right? How to close more deals, how to build and resonate with people in terms of chemistry and likability fast, right? So I'm just going to go into a couple of very key concepts that I think are important, that is really applicable to anyone at any level in whatever it is that you do. Because at the end of the day, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're in business, you're in sales. I think it's very safe to say that. The only way technically you are not involved in sales in your business is if you have hired a sales director and you have a sales team and you no longer sell at all and you're probably removed. You have a COO who's running things, that type of, this is a different conversation. But if you are effectively hands-on in the business, then you're in sales, right? So, and I'm hoping that this is going to help you on some level. So I told this gentleman that I'm currently working on. Ivy, thank you. Daniel Gomez, I see you. Good to see you. And all of you who are chiming in, thank you for that. And let me know your thoughts and ideas and comments in the comments, please. So immediately when you go and knock on somebody's door, I get those kind of people all the time here at my house. They knock on the door and they're trying to sell you something. And a lot of times they spend like, I don't know, 5 minutes just rambling on so fast, build little rapport, have zero trust with me, and they realize they're talking to the wrong person, or they realize that I have no need for what they're offering, right? They have not established anything. And I get that you have very little time to kind of get the attention of the person you're talking to, but there has to be a level of tact and a level of strategy to what you're doing, right? So one thing that's important is a smile goes a long way. Right. And I learned that the hard way, because for a long time, I'm such a nice guy inside, but I forget to inform my face sometimes. Right? I'm just so stone cold serious. And I forget to tell myself, Jose, you're happy, show that you're happy. Like inside, I'm like full of joy and I'm full of love and care for people, but I just forget to show it on my, physical self. So you got to smile, right? You have to smile. So as soon as you show up on somebody's door, you got to make eye contact. Very quickly make eye contact, and if they reach out to shake their hand, I know hopefully we're kind of semi past COVID, but there's still some people that are leery about that, but at least you made the attempt and the effort. But shake the hand, look in their eyes, let them know who you are and who you're with immediately, so they don't think you're some random, stranger. Just be like, hey, hi, my name is Jose. I'm with Connected Leaders Academy. Happy Friday. I hope you're having a good day. I'm sure I'm probably showing up at a bad time, but don't worry. I assure you I'm going to be very brief. Oh, may I get your name, please? And you're getting their name. You want to be personable with this person. You want them to feel like you care about who they genuinely are, right? We've heard before, it's nobody cares about how much you know until they know how much you care, right? You have to show that you care immediately. You have to be likable. Being likable is a thing. You have to show that you are trustworthy. Jordan Belfort, he has a training system where he talks about the 3 10s, right? And he has a scale of uncertainty, right? So just imagine on a line, if you draw a straight line on your piece of paper and like this, right? Just a straight line. On one side, you have a 1. On this side, you have a 10. 10 being they have extreme certainty, and 1 being that they have no certainty at all, right? So there's absolute uncertainty on the 1. There is absolute certainty on the 10. And you have to make sure that the person you're talking to, the prospect that you're trying to get to buy whatever it is that you're offering, they have extreme certainty, right? Absolute certainty in 3 categories. And it's called the 3 10s, right? The 3 categories. And this is applicable to just about any business. They have to, number one, believe in your product, your idea, or your concept. So the product or service that you're presenting to them, they have to have absolute certainty on that. So you got to make sure that you are resonating with them and giving them that trust in that, right? Number 2 is they have to trust you. They have to trust you. They have to feel a certain level of chemistry and likability with you, rapport, right? So they have to trust you. That's number 2. And number 3 is they have to trust your company. So you should have all of your stats. If I had my one pager for this, like if you have your little document, if you're a salesperson, you need to have your stats. You need to have them memorized. Hey, yes, I'm with blah, 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 blah. We've been around for 30 plus years. We've serviced well over $35,000 in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area in home repairs. And I'm actually in your neighborhood here. We've already serviced some of these clients, actually 4 on this street, actually. You got to know these things. So it builds trust with the company, with you, and with your service or product that you're offering. So if you can get quick certainty in all 10 of these, guess what? That is a closed sale. But most people are going to hover between a 3 and a 4. If you can get them to a 5, guess what? That's a really strong possibility for a sale because they're in the middle ground. If they're in the middle ground, they have a big sign on their chest. You know what that sign says? It's a massive sign on their chest. It's so obvious in bold letters. It says, please influence me now. That's what the sign says on their chest. If they're a 5, it says, please influence me now. I don't know where to go with this decision. I'm not sure if this is for me or if it's not for me. I need your help to make me make a decision. That's what they're saying if they're a 5. So you got to drive them up to absolute certainty as much as you can. And that's a brilliant concept. It's what I just mentioned to you is from Jordan Belfort's book. I don't have it here directly in front of me, but I think it's called Straight Line Selling, or it's The Wolf of Wall Street, something like that. Jordan Belfort, look it up. It's a great book, phenomenal book. So that's very, very important. You got to know these basic things in order to be able to close somebody. And in order for you to, and again, as I wrap up here, I'm a little over now. So in order for you to understand how you get to these levels of skill, because sales is a skill, it's not a talent, right? Nobody comes out the womb with sales skills, right? The reality is, the good news is that it can be learned. Skills can be learned. So you have to become a masterful salesperson. And the way you become a masterful salesperson is by maximizing the 24 hours in your day and developing that skill set through what I call personal project time that should be in everybody's calendar, where you have personal project time every day to develop yourself in that space. So if you're in business and your goal is to increase your revenue, your number one priority should be to develop the skill set of sales, because that is going to move the bottom line. That's my firm belief. And I'm going to end with this. Arnold Schwarzenegger talks about it. I'm book dropping because I'm coming to you from the Entrepreneur's Bookshelf headquarters, as you can tell, right? There's another great book here by Arnold Schwarzenegger. Anybody who doesn't know him was probably born and raised in a broom closet, but everybody should know who Arnold Schwarzenegger is. This guy is phenomenal. Be Useful, the 7 tools for life, right? Phenomenal new book. And in there, he talks about his 24-hour rule. I've heard all kinds of 24-hour rules, right? But his is really powerful. He talks about the importance of everybody has 8 hours where they're sleeping, right? They have 8 hours where they are working, their job, their job, their career, their profession, their business, whatever that might be. That leaves you with 8 hours. Let's say your commute to work each way is 45 minutes, right? But the average commute is actually about 24 minutes in the United States, right? For the average person. But let's just say it's a 45-minute commute, to over-exaggerate. That is 90 minutes off your schedule now. So let's just say 6.5 hours left of your day. Now you come home, and most people want to spend at least 3.5 hours with their kids on average, right? So, and their family, whoever that is. It could be their loved one, their kids, whatever it is. So 3.5 hours of family time. So that leaves you with 3 hours left. And let's assume that you are the person who wants to be healthy and you want to go to the gym, or you want to stay in shape. So you have 1 hour for the gym. That leaves you with 2 hours every single day. These 2 hours is what is called spare non-productive time. What you do with those 2 hours compounds. The compound effect, Darren Hardy, phenomenal book. It's going to compound both positive and negative. So if you are coming home to wine or beer, watching football games and Netflix and relaxing, then over a year, that's going to compound too, right? You're going to be in the same place, spinning your wheels, wondering why your business isn't growing, wondering why you're not becoming better and more solvent in a lot of different areas, because you are just passing your spare non-productive time ineffectively, right? So you want to make sure that those final 2 hours that you have are used wisely. Imagine if you just used 1 hour a day to write a page of a future book that you've been talking about for 10 years that you never wrote because I don't have time. That's not true. We all have time. We need to create the time, right? So if you have 1 hour a day to put the pen to the paper, and let's just say it takes you 1 hour to write one page, thoughtfully, masterfully, well done. In 1 year, that's a 365 page or 300 whatever days in a year manuscript, right? Done, complete, finished. So that is powerful. That is absolutely powerful. But most people don't do that, right? And a lot of people say, well, Jose or Arnold, because that's his concept, Arnold Schwarzenegger, hey, what about rest and relaxation? You know what his answer to that is? Rest is for babies. Relaxation is for retirees. If you're not either one, get to work, right? So at the end of the day, assuming that you are in that 8-hour bracket of sleep, listen, lose some sleep. Maybe sacrifice a little bit of time with family, just a little bit. I eat dinner every night with my family, but I don't have to do 3.5 hours every single night. There's the weekend for that. If it's a Monday through Friday, 90-day blitz, and then go away on a vacation for a week with your family, right? But anyways, these are some really cool concepts, some ideas on the importance of being skilled at what you do, some basic concepts of how to move the needle right now in your sales with the certainty of the 310, and also understanding what you're doing with your spare non-productive time in 24 hours that we all have every single day, right? So I encourage you, and again, those two concepts today that I spoke to you on, I didn't create it. You know what it's called? It's called reading. And reading is what I do on my spare non-productive time. And when I read, I learn information. And then the key to that information is to apply it, right? And when you start applying information, guess what? Your life changes, things improve. And you look back a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and all of a sudden you become a goal hitter. So thank you.
Wow. Powerful stuff. You know, Jose, you had me at the first words anyway, but here's the thing, right? When you said we don't come out of the womb, and then all of a sudden I'm thinking, how many accountants were born today? How many auto car mechanics were born today? How many lawyers were born today? And then how many homeless people were born today? Nobody is born with a title, but we make those titles ourselves. So thank you for that. Very powerful, my friend. Before we go, and I know we went a little bit over, but guess what? Such great information from everybody. I'm going to ask you both, Stephen and Katie, what was your one takeaway from today, if you don't mind?
Well, I have to say that I hadn't heard such a fine expose as Jose did today on time management from a different direction. So that was excellent. Your topic on love is always good. Everything you say is good. And Katie's story and how she got to where she is, and she has many years to go. I can see that. So congratulations, Katie.
Thank you. I hope so. I just really enjoy the energy of this room and hearing the different perspectives of people who are obviously so passionate about work that they do. And are changing the world. Like, it's just, I love being in rooms like this. It just always reminds me that I made the right choices and I'm in the right career. And it makes me that much more dedicated to helping my clients do the same thing for themselves.
Beautiful. Excellent. So guess what? We are back And normally it's in 2 weeks, but we're back next week. I know, right? We have 2 guests next week, and it's going to be another impactful event. Can I tell you, people are literally knocking down our virtual doors to be on the show. So thank you both for being here with us, right? That's
Pleasure.
probably the first time you heard that, right? Virtual doors, right? It's like the Matrix, they're coming through because we're blessed, Jose and I, to have guests like yourself. So thank you. Thank you for being here with us. Really
Pleasure.
appreciate you.
Phenomenal.
And,
You
and
guys were
people,
phenomenal guests, absolutely phenomenal guests. I greatly appreciated it. So thank you for pouring into us today.
yeah, and the people in the comments, come on, Ivy, you know you're amazing. And we've missed you. You haven't been around for a little bit, but we love that. And everybody who came in and said a quick hello and whatnot, thank you. Our audience is amazing. Our guests are exceptional. My co-host, man, that guy is amazing. You need to follow him. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being here with us. Do us all a favor. Have yourself an exceptional rest of your Friday. And Jose and I practically say the same thing because our mentors, we have different mentors, and they said the same thing. It's pretty crazy. Maybe they know each other. Don't have a great weekend because then you'll be weak. Have a strong end. Let's see you guys. Take care.
Bye.